a little bit of an impromptu stream this evening. Again, it wasn't quite planned because I had another it's the chess camp today, so but that's okay. I'll try to give it like 60 minutes. I'm not sure I'm going to be staying like for the next 3 hours though. Because it's definitely going to take like 3 hours at least. So we're going to get into 11 p.m. if you're residing in the UK. So it's going to take quite some time. But anyway, let's give it 60 minutes, more or less. And we're going to take them one by one. So what have we got here is iRazor and Gukesh. I think Gukesh currently now is the first. He's in the lead now with 4 points. He's in the lead with 4 points. So, whose turn is it? Ali Razor's turn to play here. No one has castled. No one has castled, and I'm not sure how White is planning to do with the king, or how does he want to play this? Now, if you capture this, obviously queen takes, and then potentially could you play this? Then if queen takes, you take with A. Is this playable? Is this playable, I wonder? Okay. Heck, could it be queen b3 now? Bishop takes, king takes. You know, then king g and just try to take advantage of the fact you got the rook and you just push the h pawn. Could you do that? Or do you want to play another piece? I don't know why I'm thinking about queen b3. I sort of like would like getting my queen on the b file, and if they take, I take. Or what? Bishop takes, queen e2 something. Queen takes, king takes. You know, if you get rid of the light square bishop and if you trade off the queens, probably gonna be drawish. Maybe too early to call it a draw, but anyway. So, what's here? Let's see if this coffee has any impact. Okay. So, what have we got here now? Whose turn is it? Ian. Ian plays with the blacks. And this is looking exciting. Exciting for sure. Heck, I think that's the most exciting game of the evening now. Naka has to do something with this bishop on c1. Anyway, it's black's turn now. I guess it would be convenient for white if black were to capture and the knight takes back, and all of a sudden the bishop becomes operable. Now, if bishop takes and knight takes, could they just take? I'm not sure if it's in black's interest to start trading off the minor pieces now. I think he wants to maintain the pressure. There is one weird little guy here on b8. I don't even know how the heck did they get into this. I need to go back from the very beginning and try to clarify. Weird, very weird looking position here. So knight on b8. They need to do something with that knight as well. So we'll see. It's quite interesting. Knight b8. Oh man. So I think black shouldn't go for too much of a trading. Hello, Karthik. Exams are over. That is very good for you. So that means you can dedicate a bit more time to your most beloved game, and you could maybe study a bit more your favorite openings on Chessable and stuff, and you can do more chess perhaps, or maybe study more How's the results for your studies? How was it, the exams? Did you pass the exams? Everything was okay? Everything in order? Okay. How would you play here with black? There is that knight on b8, which is a little bit strangely positioned now. Should black take the white rook, you reckon, so that they get the white knight a bit at the back? I mean, push them on the back rank or something? Then you could maybe play queen e6. So bishop takes, knight takes, queen e6. Then knight's gonna go back. So you don't have the results just yet. Okay. Okay, that's alright. So I wonder if rook takes and knight captures, and then queen e6 would be something, then knight has to play back. I wonder. Oh, did I? Oh, sugar. Let me try and, oh, thanks very much, man. No, it's the round 7. It's just, sorry, I just came from the, Easter camp day, and I haven't, modified nothing. No, it's not round 6. This is not round 6. This is round, 7. This is round 7. Thank you very much for reminding. Yeah, totally, man. Cheers. Thank you very much for the reminder. Thanks very much. I completely forgotten about. I mean, yeah, I knew that they started to play, but I didn't realize what actually was the old title. Thank you. I think now should be modifying. I don't know if it's updated anywhere, but then nevertheless. So now, who's it? Oh, Ian to think. So rook takes, knight takes, queen e6, and maybe knight goes back. If knight goes back, queen e2 check. Heck, you might be just simply executed. This is interesting. This is interesting. Rook takes, knight takes, queen e6. This is interesting. Rook takes. If rook takes, it's a forcing move, right? It's not. Hey, they did take. Bingo. After a full day of work and I'm trying to drink some coffee, it's trying to make some sense of what I'm thinking. It's okay. So rook takes. Guys, there is something weird here. If knight takes, we might be having queen e6. And if you play the knight back, we might be having queen e2. That's a problem. That's a very serious. It's a checkmate threat. So I reckon, should you be playing... this is very critical. If you play queen to... so he took, and now queen e6. And now queen e6. If you play knight to f3, could we perhaps try queen e2? And I think it's quite critical for white. I'm not even sure if white should play knight f3. I think it's quite deadly. So I suppose you need to play ASAP queen e3. If you play knight f3, knight e1 f3, it probably queen e6. I'm not sure what you're going to play. I'm not fully convinced. So I would say before you play knight f3, maybe queen e3 first. I guess it's very important. Hello, Satvik. Good to see you guys. I love them all, man. I mean, I watched this one because I found it incredibly strange. Yeah, so let's have a look at Vidit. Absolutely. I mean, I saw some very strange moves in between Hikaru and Ian. Let's go see Vidit. Heck, let's see them all, man. Let's just see them all, mate. Why just one? All 4 of them. Okay, so here's Vidit. 1 hour, 30 minutes. Well, I think he's doing okay with the time. Normally, he's just having 1 hour after like 10 moves or something. Until he reaches 10 moves, he's already spending like a lot of time. So what have we got here? Ray Lopez, Berlin defense. F is open. Blacks to move. Do you castle or knight f6? I guess one of these two. One of these two. Hey, you could try maybe bishop or something. No, you could do it later. I think you can play the bishop later. Probably you could castle or knight f6. These are my candidate moves. Yeah, he does go low on time. Continuously. I think he's the only player that actually is the only guy that struggles with the time. He's the only guy with the having issues with the time, so to speak. But he produces enormously insightful chess. So I'm really enjoying watching Vidit playing very much. I think these guys are amazing. So my candidate moves for black here would be castle the king and knight f6. Knight f6. And I guess white dreams of pushing d4. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that makes a lot of sense. If black takes, you're going to have centralized pawns connected, and it belongs to you. So knight f6 castles and some d4 from white's point of view. And there is something with the bishop, which is very versatile. Bishop very versatile. Bishop b7, you're going to push this guy. Although you got to be careful though with this knight to d5. But then again, if there is a bishop on b7, maybe you can afford this luxury. Interesting. Very, very, very cool. Very nice. So for white, d3 to d4 has to happen sooner or later. I guess you may want to do that. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, we did say about bishop a6 as well. Yeah, bishop a6 if you want to prevent white from pushing d4. Yes, Sadvik, I agree. Yes. 97% is absolutely huge accuracy. You wouldn't expect less from elite chess players. You wouldn't expect less from these guys. They are really, I mean, the cream of the cream, so to speak. It's the best that the species can produce right now in terms of chess players. So it's good to having these guys playing like machines. Oopsie. They are meant to play like machines. They are super grandmasters. They're meant to do like this. Yes, so again, coming back, hey, bishop b7 actually, which was, again, one of the things that I did say. As soon as I open up the game, the page with the moves they played, I did specify bishop b7 or bishop a6, although I also mentioned knight f6 and castle kingside. But I'm going to tell you something. It is possible that Vidit may want to just simply castle long. So that might be another option here for black. And playing something like f6, so you castle long and do f6 to just shut off everything, so to speak. It could be. Bishop here, long term, would be a very efficient little guy here. A very, very efficient sniper here, bishop b7. So you got to be careful with that bishop. Yeah, I think it's cool. That's nice. I think we don't know yet. I really wonder. Karthik, Sadvik, you guys would do castle long or castle short here? I'm really curious to know your opinion on this. Would you play long castling or would you play short castling? What would you do, guys? I know it's Abbasov's turn, so I'm aware. But I just wanted to verify with you guys if you would rather do long or short castling. Hello, Akansha. Good to see you. I think it's the first time I'm seeing our friend here, Akansha Singh. So, there's something cool about both ways castling. Maybe I'm inclined to say long castling and then go for the f6 kind of structure. But it's a lot. Yeah, we can debate. We can debate stuff here. Yeah, that's good. If you do long castling, Sadvik, you get the rook on d8 by default. Only by castling you get the rook on d8. So, but you know something? Abbasov's last move, b4, wants to make black think more about castling long. So that's one particular little move here. b2 to b4 being played now wants to make black consider again the idea of long castling. You know, because those pawns will be coming, right? I mean, those guys will be moving. You're gonna have an a4. Well, I'm not sure if you're gonna have it now, given the fact there is a queen. I'm not sure. But the idea being that those guys want to go up if you castle long. He's not going to castle long. Forget about castle long. Vidit is not going to castle long. Not after a5. So we can discard castle long for black here. Not after a5. There's no castle long here. Heck, what do? You do queen d2. You know, just but actually you're going to drop a pawn here. Sorry guys. I think we got to take. We just take. But if they take with the rook, they're going to have double attack on a3. What do? Do you move forwards? If you move forwards, you might have knight c5 attacking a4 again. So it's getting really interesting now. It's getting interesting. He might delay the castling. I guess Karthik, black still would have to castle at some point. You can't play like this. You can't play with the king on castle. Knight c5 for sure. Well, as soon as this guy disappears, that is. Again, let's just look at this again. If white captures here, rook takes, attacking a3 twice. What do you play? What do you play? You play queen c1? Okay, I guess knight c5 would happen regardless. Okay, then you're gonna do what? Queen b2? Hard to say. Can you do this and that as well if you are Basov here? But maybe it's too much of a stretch here. Maybe that's a bit too premature, too hazardous. This kind of h4, maybe it's just too crazy. I mean, you would like to use the F file somehow, but how exactly you are going to use the F, I'm not very certain. We're gonna see. Rook b1, rook b1, rook b1. Not a bad one, I guess, but it's not particularly strong. You give up on the A file. They may or may not take Karthik on b4. So rook ab. Yeah, so knight e2 by Abasov. What does that do? Amongst others, he wants to go here, and then he wants to jump here, hit the queen, hit g7. I guess that's the knight's journey, guys. And yeah, knight g3, knight f5. But if black takes now, how do you react to this? Do you take? Then they may castle short. Interesting move by Abasov, knight e2. Very interesting move. Well, I understand knight g3, knight f5, but how exactly are you dealing with the b4 pawn? So if this guy takes here, you're going to play what? Queen b1? Really? So you just gave them a pawn, which they might just take again? How exactly does that work out? I don't know. I'm not sure Karthik is a queen b1. So yeah, okay, let's go see Prague now. Let's go have a look at Prague, guys, because you mentioned that must be another superb game here played by these guys. We'll definitely go back at that game, Karthik. Thanks for your thoughts. We're definitely going to go back. And we still haven't clarified what is white supposed to do in the previous game, boys and girls. So queen e2 being played here by Fabi. Queen e2. Bishop wants to take. Well, he could have taken anyway if you wanted to. I'm not sure it's just this. I'm not sure he's gonna take. He's not gonna take on c4 now. He's not gonna take on c4 now. He wanna do something else. He may want to push the h. If you don't push the h, why wouldn't you push the h? You have to push the h pawn. I think Fabi's plan is just to advance the h pawn. Guys, he will be advancing the h pawn. I don't think you want to take one c4, right? But h2, h4 really could be something. And just push it, h4, then h5. Why not? Anyway, it's black's turn. So could you do bishop h6? Or would you do what? Knight f5? So let me just highlight bishop h6, knight f5. I don't think they're that bad. What? I don't know what you're saying, Karthik, over there. I don't know whose t-shirt is $1,700. I don't know what that means, man. That's a heck of a lot for a freaking t-shirt, man. Sorry. That's just obscene amount of money for a t-shirt, really. I wouldn't spend that money for that thing ever. I'll just buy another streaming studio. No way. Well, you can't castle here with black before you... I mean, you gotta play the bishop first. So now we can debate bishop g7 or bishop h6. Bishop h6, I like it because you're gonna take... You're gonna take the c1 critical square for the future development of the rook. So you may want to do bishop h6 and delay the knight on e7 for the time being. So I guess bishop h6 could be played. And it probably should be played unless I'm missing something and there is something way stronger. But before you do any other crazy stuff, I think bishop h6 screams to be played. In my understanding, you guys let me know if you think differently or if you think I'm completely wrong. Just let me know. But looks like bishop h6 is really one of those moves. You've got to do this. And then you're going to castle. After bishop h6 played by Prague, it is very, very attractive to push, if you were FIDE, to go h4. You kind of have to do it. Are we going to see anyone castling in this match here? In this game in between FIDE and Prague? I don't know. Are we going to see anyone castling? I just do not know. Bishop h6. That's a natural move. It makes sense. A lot of sense. Bishop h6. And then h4 for white. That's my prediction. That's my candidate moves for black and white. And I think it's time to moving maybe for another game, my friends. Another game. b5. What for black? b5 for black. You could do b5. I don't think it's fundamentally bad. You're just blocking your queen. Sadvik. If you do b5, again, I don't think it's that bad of a move, but you have to accept you blocking the queen's diagonal, if that's worth it anything. But again, I think it's very much playable, b5. I don't see anything faulty with that move. Let me just highlight bishop h6, knight f5, queen a4, b5. I think we just got all the candidate moves and Prague's going to play one of these. Or he got another plan? I don't know. Queen a4. So queen a4, obviously not queen b5. You're not going to put the queen on the same diagonal with your opponent's bishop. So I reckon queen a5, knight f5, bishop g7. But I don't think bishop g7 really. Bishop h6. If you play the dark square bishop, you're going to go h6. You're not going to go g7 now. So bishop h6 makes sense. So these are the candidate moves. b5, maybe-ish. I'm not convinced. I think the most critical ones are bishop h6, maybe queen a5. Sorry, queen a4. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Queen a4, because if you really want to have enormous audacity, you might go queen b3. If you really want to be annoying for FIDE. But you know something? Moving that queen so many times, you haven't even castled the king and you want to do queen a4? Yeah, bishop c2 and you're going to go back. Exactly right. That's exactly right. So queen a4, bishop c2, and then you have to go back. And you didn't achieve nothing. And then white's going to castle, or they're going to push h pawn. Correct, Satvik. So I'm really not keen on queen a4. It just doesn't feel the right one. You've got to make sure the bishop had moved, and you got to make sure the king had castled eventually. As per white, I don't know. You could castle, then play a long positional game, get the rook on the... Well, you can't get the rook on the c because there is a bishop here. But maybe if you take this guy off the board first, but you'll be creating a passer. Difficult to say, just in order to oppose the bishop on h6. Very difficult to say. Very difficult to say. Bishop h6, h4. Okay. Yeah, that's the prediction. I'm going to leave the arrows here. Let's go to Hikaru. Exactly. Hikaru and Ian, guys. And then Gukesh. We didn't look at Gukesh, people. We didn't look at Gukesh, man. Queen f1. Hey, what did we say? We did say... I did say queen e6. I absolutely did say queen e6. Queen e6, I said it. Queen d3, because you're getting really executed here. If you allow the black queen access to e2, you're getting absolutely hammered. Bishop f5, attacking the queen. Queen f1. Moving to safety, preparing knight f3. And probably you could play this. I'm not sure knight d to f, because you want to free up this guy, kind of. So maybe this knight, and then here. You know, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. If the black knight wasn't here, you could have even dreamed for a fork with one of your knights. But anyway, I think it's interesting. You could play this guy, freeing up the bishop. And maybe you're going to play a knight here, and when the knight takes, you're going to take with the bishop. You're going to get the rook here. I think it's getting promising for Hikaru. Unless he's coming with other very ferocious attacking lines here. There is something that suffers. There is a piece that suffers, and that's the knight on b8. I mean, this is just pure suffering. Knight on b8. Knight on b8 is a problem for black here. What do you do with that knight? You need to spend some tempi. If white needs to spend tempi to get a knight and the bishop on c1 and the rook, black similarly has to play that knight. Maybe a6, b4, d3. Depends. Let's see. Yeah, that's another one, Sadvik. Exactly. Brill. Absolutely brill. Moreover, white needs to play knight f3. When the guy plays, you're actually going to take it, and no, black is getting executed. If knight d to f, you can't do knight g5. It's interesting, the idea... sorry, oh, you're talking for black, I see. Knight g5, okay, let me think. Knight g5, makes sense what you're saying. How do we stop that? Knight g5. Heck, you're going to have to move the king, then. You're going to have to move the king. Where exactly? Well, we can debate. We can debate. Knight g5, you're going to have to move the king. I'm not sure g1 or h1. One of these two. One of these two, guys. Yeah, that's a good plan. It's quite direct, Satvik. It's quite a direct threat. You can't mess with this. Knight g5 is serious. You have to do something ASAP. Yep. Totally. So I think I would totally agree on your idea with knight g5. Looks very good. Really good. So you gotta move the king, or you're gonna get completely executed there. Completely executed. So let's go to Gukesh, guys. We didn't see Gukesh. I didn't look at Gukesh and Alireza, I think, that much as the other 3 games. So what have we gotten here? Have they moved anything? Oh, you serious? Only Alireza. Rook h3. Alright, guys. What is Rook h3 doing apart from some intention with Rook I mean, are you serious? Alright, can someone tell me what the heck is Rook h3 doing? Satvik, guys, who's that? Karthik, Sadvik, guys, what is this rook h3 doing actually? I really want to know. Can someone enlighten the understanding here? What's the stuff with rook g3? Rook h3, apologies. What's this thing with rook h3 doing? Really? Jesus. What do you want to do? I mean, you want to do this, bishop takes, and this guy takes, and then you want to play this? Or what is it? It's just so unexpected. I mean, rook h1, oopsie, rook h1 to rook h3. Do you guys decipher something that I'm not saying? Please do step in and clarify, guys, if you notice something about rook h3. Can someone say something? I mean, you guys see something in particular about rook h3? What does that do? Okay, let's... What? Okay, I get it. I mean, I did say 95. I did say 95. Knight takes, bishop takes, or whatever. Sure, of course. And then the rook might be able to support your bishop d3. Okay. I mean, that is one weird looking move there. What's this stuff with the rook? Okay, maybe it's not the end of the world, but it's not clear. I mean, it's very, very versatile. It's very weird. What do you do? 95. But anyway, it is black's to move. It's black's to move. Can black play knight h5? Asking for a friend. Knight h5, then bishop e3. And then you're pushing g4. Well, I guess you can. But I have to say, rook h3, very unexpected. Rook e3, why? Why rook e3, Sadvik? Okay, bishop e7, that makes sense. They want a castle short, right? I suspect. What do you play? What's the stuff? Rook e3 for what, Sadvik? Rook e3. I mean, I have nothing against rook e3 if you just tell me why would that be. I don't know, man. What's rook e3 doing? I don't know. Yeah. Thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel, Akansh, if I pronounce this correctly. Cheers, mate. Thank you. All right. So, what is white supposed to be doing here? What's the stuff? Knight e5, knight takes, bishop takes. Okay. So, okay. I don't know. Rook G, Rook E, Bishop D. That bishop takes, rook takes, maybe. All right, guys. Let's leave this one in abeyance. Bishop E7. I'm really curious what's white going to play and what was the reason behind rook H3. I guess we're gonna find out. My 2 cents were like something like queen B3. Something like queen B3. And if they take, you're gonna take rook first. They're gonna be taking, and then you're gonna take this guy, but you're gonna... Yeah, okay, maybe. Queen B3, right? Queen B3. I'm not sure. Queen B3, bishop takes, queen takes, pawn takes, you take, and then they're gonna take you on A2. That's, so probably queen B3 can be discarded due to this little tactic that might be resulting in you losing a pawn. I'm really yet to find out what's the reason behind rook H3. I'm still thinking about it. We'll find out, unless you guys have an idea. So let's go now and moving towards another game. Oh, whoopsie. Games. Okay. So we've seen this. Let's go to... They haven't played... So what did... Oh, Ian is still thinking about your move, knight g5. Prague. Let's go to Prague and then Vidit. So, Fabi, let me just go 2 moves. h5, guys, not bishop h6. I speculated bishop h6. Prague plays instead h5. He plays h5. I guess trying to preventing h4, h5 played by white. That's why he played h5. Okay, pawn move, number 16. You're moving a pawn on the h file. Okay. So what is white supposed to be playing here? You play h4, you castle short. What do you play? h4 or castle short. If you play rook ac, that's a disaster. a3 is hanging, so you can't do this. If you take here, you're going to be creating a passed pawn, potentially fortified by b5. I'm not sure that works. Knight g5 could be reacted with bishop h6, and then you're going to have to play h4. I think I like it. So, Sadvik, I think I like your idea with knight g5, and if there's any bishop h6 is h4. I guess that looks good. I agree with your suggestion. Knight g5 seems to be very good. Yes. You guys are very insightful. Yes, knight g5 is good. Hey, interesting. Bishop d2. They may want to say here, please do, you take my bishop, not me. Looks like it. You want to say, you take my guy, not me. And if you take, I'm going to take with the queen. But then bishop h6 is coming, though. So what do you play? You're going to go back. You sure? But maybe after knight take, you don't want to take with the queen. Maybe you want to take with the knight. So that's another thing. Bishop d2. He wants to invite black to take on d2. Well, you want to invite them, don't you? I mean, you don't want to take and help black to create a passed pawn. Therefore, you want them to take. You're going to take back with the knight, not with the queen because of bishop h6. So you want to take back with the knight. Okay. You want to take back with the knight and maybe short castling? Maybe. Hey, no, blimey. What am I talking about? If this guy takes, you've got bishop b5, right? There is always knight c6, but hey, still strange. Oh. No, it's if knight d2. No, there is something about the b5, Sadvik. There's something. It's something with the b5. I think you need to play. So you probably take on d2, I guess. But then black has to be careful. They're not going to take on d2, man. Prague is not going to take on d2 for this particular reason. You're not going to take on d2 as long as you have this battery. This is just too crazy. You can't do this. You can't do this. So knight takes, you got a massive problem with b5, respectively a6. And you haven't castled the king. This is the real stuff about bishop d2. Amongst others. So bishop d2 is actually, you know, knight can't really take it. Yes, he can go b5, and I think he should, Sadvik. Given what we discussed until now, I think, given what we said until now, I think black will need to cement a bit that knight. You got to keep it there forever. You cannot afford moving the knight. It's too crazy and risky. And, blimey, I think it's just losing. So knight d2 is just awful to play. Unless I'm missing something. But it just doesn't look good at all. How would you take on d2 and allow white to get a bishop on b5? Okay. Finish this coffee now. Something else left here? Oh, okay. Gonna drink that one too. Let's drink it all. Okay. So, yeah, that can't be played. Knight d2 cannot be played. Cool, very nice one. So I guess b5 played by Prague makes sense. I'm gonna go with Sadvik's candidate move for black here. I guess it's b5. And keep it like this. Keep it like this. Very solid, very fortified. followed by some bishop g7l, or you could do bishop h6, frankly. What if Prague plays bishop h6? What if Prague plays bishop h6? Well, that's another move. Well, that's just another move. He can do bishop h6, can he? Does anything stop Prague to play bishop h6, Sadvik? Kartik? Why would you play knight g5, though? It is black's turn to play. You're talking about knight f5, Sadvik. Knight g5 is not playable by black. It's playable by white, but now it is Prague's turn. Prague is with the black pieces. So I think you meant knight f5? Just trying to get the right idea. Did you mean knight f5? You're talking about white. Well, after bishop h6, I'm not sure you really want to do knight g5, though. I'm really not sure you want to do this. Because knight's going to take on d2, maybe? Oh, man, it just feels incredibly unnecessary. Oh, okay. Right. If Prague plays bishop h6, knight f5, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, now I get, yeah, of course, yeah. You meant knight f5, because that's what just got me completely bamboozled. You know, I was very bamboozled about what you said, knight g5. It didn't make any bit of a sense. But now I understand. Bishop h6 and probably for Prague, knight f5 later on. Yeah, of course. Knight f5, of course. Yeah. That's a very nice little game here happening. Let's go for another game. I'm going to leave the yellow arrows on the screen and we're going to see if we got it right or not. Let's go to Abbasov and Vidit. Nijat Abbasov playing for Azerbaijan and Vidit now. Hey guys, as per usual, Vidit is way lower on time compared with Nijat Abbasov. 1 hour for Vidit and 1 hour 44 minutes for the other player. Yeah, we're gonna go to Gukesh. Absolutely, man. We're gonna go to Gukesh ASAP. So let's see what's going on here. No one touched the B pawn. Not. Hey, I did say this. And because I wanted to say that, of course. Why do you think Vidit played G6? Why do you think he played it? Exactly for the reason that we discussed, guys. No knight f5 desired. That comes at a little bit of a cost, the dark squares. The question is how exactly you're going to get the queen on the dark squares. Or maybe you want to do something dirty like h4, h5. Well, let's take it step by step because it's Vidit's turn. David, good to see you, my friend. That's Vidit's bigger problem. The biggest problem of Vidit is the management of time. Or time management, let's put it. Yes. No, he never gonna be up on time. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Vidit is never gonna be up on time. It doesn't look like. He got a very special propensity for being low on time. Trigro or a Negro? I don't know what you're implying. If you came for chess, you're welcome. If you came for something else, you may want to go for a different podcast, my friend. Okay. So, I don't know what is h4. But now it's Vidit's turn. By the way, now because he castled, can actually black go for the b4 pawn? a5 takes b4. This guy takes. Queen captures. What's the deal? What's the stuff here? Is there something wrong, guys? In all honesty, is there something wrong with a5 takes b4? And then we're going to go to Gukesh, guys. Then we're going to go to Gukesh's game. Well, if you want to be a very serious title player and a very much aspiring player, you will have to get very serious about your openings. For sure. But until you're hitting like 2000 rating, I think you should be focusing on don't blunder the pieces and just play normal, healthy tactics. So keep it reduced. Don't overstretch with the learning 25 moves in the Berlin. You might not even go to the 20th move in the Berlin defense. So don't stress out about memorizing lines. More important is to understand them. And more important, just don't blunder pawns, don't blunder pieces. Get your stuff active. Understand the weak pawn, understand the pawn islands, pawn structure, important. Very important. Pawn majority, pawn islands, weakening the king. Now, if white had a dark square bishop, that would be devastating, for black. Just imagine a dark square bishop, especially after g6 being played for black. So if white somehow manages to play d4, well, probably it's getting exposed to this, which makes it even more complicated and more beautiful for us spectators, for those of us that spectate the games. That makes it even more exciting. Yeah, and Vidit is going to be way, way low on time. Let's go to Gukesh, fellas. Let's go to Gukesh now. Alireza, white, Gukesh, black here. Okay, what did happen? H3, we did say H3. It's good they actually didn't erase the yellow arrows and stuff. Bishop E7, H4. You know something? Alireza could have pushed the H4 without necessarily playing Rook H1 to H3. What did that thing do, actually? Just try to figure out. So, H5 could have been played regardless. Why did they do a Rook lift? Anyone? What's this Rook lift doing? Rook H1, Rook H3. Very unexpected. I don't know what's that Rook H3. Okay, whatever. Okay, well, I understand H6. I do understand H6. I'm not sure Gukesh should do castle long. Just looks incredibly weird. So probably castle long. Okay, I guess Alireza wants to make black very doubtful about castling either side. If you castle short with black, I mean, let's just put it this way, fella. If you castle short with black, you can't tell me you are not concerned about h5 to h6. Because I think you should be concerned. You should be concerned if you castle short about h6. If you castle long, you're having this monster of a bishop. Amongst others. I guess then you could play bishop d6 and take him off the board. But anyway, and also you got to be a little bit worried about a4 ideas and stuff. So, yeah. I guess for Gukesh now, it's castle short is out of the question. What do you think, Karthik, David, my other online friends now? What do you think, guys? Satvik, what do you think? Would you castle short for black here? Would you castle short? But I absolutely wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. Hello, Gerardo, via Facebook. Good to see you, my friend. How is it going? So, yeah, I think we can totally give up on short castling here. This is completely untenable. It's freaking hell. This is just deadly. As deadly as it can be. 95 for whom? For... It is white's turn. You want to play 95? No, I think I want to go h6. I don't want to play knight e5. Why would I play knight e5 here? I don't want to do this. I don't want to help them trade and stuff. I want to keep it with h6. I want to increase the pressure with h6 first. Then I'm going to consider maybe knight a5 or not. I don't want to play knight e5. I think I would go for h6 now if I was Ali Reza, but I'm not, so he may just very well do something else. Castle short? No way, Jose. You don't want to castle short here. Well, black is not going to castle short. Not with this pawn so much advanced. This is out of the question. There is no castle short for black. Yeah, Gerardo, that's precisely slightly my feeling. That's exactly my feeling. I mean, it's really attacking on the right flank and on the left flank as well. He might be okay. He's not going to castle. Ali Reza not going to castle here, of course. You can't castle. You know, when you play something with this huge audacity, rook h1 to rook h3, it's like you want to tell the other guy, hey, screw it, mate. I'm not going to castle. Look, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to do a rook lift so I can send you a very clear message that I'm going to attack you on king side and queen side likewise. So h6 is my first candidate move here. Of course, h6. If you don't do h6, why wouldn't you? Of course you want to do h6. You totally want to do h6, right? Yeah, h6 is my first candidate move. I guess, yeah, I mean, you can sit down and calculate stuff, but... Well, Pratik, if you know the basics, you could go in primary schools and just teach children how to move the pieces, for instance, and the basic checkmates. Of course, you can get a job in chess. I think it's a huge global boom now in chess, and yeah, it is required you do know very well the basics, the pieces coordination, all the basic checkmates, and you know, so that you are able to actually teach that at the class. So I don't see why not, Pratik. Google it and you're gonna find almost endless material about this. It's a lot of free chess material out there on the internet. A lot of. Tons of. You probably, as a chess player, you live in the most beneficial historical era in terms of chess learning, chess teaching, chess understanding. Yeah. Well, I don't know, mate. If you think, yeah, I mean, I assume you might be in Satvik. I don't know about the other guy. Gerardo, I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure. Gerardo, I don't think so. He's not. And he might not be the only one, though. And David as well, so yeah. But anyway, it don't matter that one because I want to keep it incredibly international and stuff. Yeah, they are quite decent. They're decent. And it may be very well be used by all the beginners, the novices, and intermediate chess players. They definitely have some value to them. They are useful for beginners and intermediates. It is meant to be for beginners and intermediates. That is exactly for that. So yeah, absolutely. Guys, we're going to go to another game here. I guess when we are returning to this game, we're going to see h6 on the board. If not, I mean, Ali Reza could play something, you know, just to surprise and scare Gukesh, but I guess we're going to see an h6. Let's go to Hikaru, people. Let's go to Hikaru and Ian. All right, what did happen last time He didn't play knight g5. If you remember, guys, I did say last time that the knight on b8 is a piece for which you suffer with the black pieces. So you need to get your guys in action. So he did opt for knight d7, although I have to say the knight g5 and bishop h3, it seemed to be quite dangerous, and I really thought that maybe black should have played that. But anyway, there is definitely virtue to getting the knight in action as well. So knight f3, knight e f3. played by white. Now you can forget about knight g5, Sadvik. Sadvik, guys, came with the idea to do knight g5 rather than knight b8 to d7. Sadvik came with this idea. Now, after knight played on d7, I think you can forget about knight g5 for the time being. You can forget what? Oh, this is crazy. Oh, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. Knight f4, check. And if you, by any means, if you tempted to take, you are completely toast. Fabulous idea, David. You are a chess master in becoming now. This is just fabulous. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. But. Okay, knight f4. Brilliant. He could have played knight f4 previously, right? But it's not going to be. Now, knight f4. Do I really have to take your guy? I don't think so. I'm going to run away. I'm going to run away. H. And then you're going to have to play the knight. Right? You're going to have to play the knight. And you're going to have to worry about knight g5 all the time. So knight f4 gives up on the g5. I'm going to run away. I'm not sure where. And then you got to solve the knight issue and the g5 issue. You got two issues on your hands. So you got to think this one, David, very carefully. Knight f4. I'm playing king. I don't know where. Maybe h1, maybe f2. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this one. But then black definitely has to take care of g5 from the fork. Knight g5 and you're done. And you have to think about the knight safety. So I don't know. You're going to go back on h3? So you got to keep this in mind as well. So you have to think about this one as well. Let me send this. Where is she? Okay. Knight f6. More pieces into action. Knight ef3 and knight f6. More pieces into action. This is paramount. You absolutely want to get your guys to play. And actually, it's a little bit scary. I'm seeing 4 minor pieces. Please, thank you very much. Please do that. So this is actually really concerning, having 4 minor pieces coming over. And guys, have you noticed that actually the rook on a1 practically doesn't exist? It's a pain, but the rook on a1 does not exist. He needs to spend a couple of tempi. Hikaru has to work out something to move the freaking knight on d2 somewhere, and I don't know where. And if you move the knight somewhere, you might be seeing some knight on e4. I mean, it's getting critical, you see. So you need to move the knight on d2, I don't know where. Then you have to play the bishop somehow, and then you got to get to play the rook. So white needs to some serious tempi to activate pieces. And frankly, Karthik, I would be inclined to say that queen e1, the move you had suggested, actually it is very, very important in order to diminish the attack. And frankly, if you start trading, I think it's beneficial for white, because it's just too much pressure here. Way too much pressure. And you're in trouble. The bishop doesn't exist. The rook doesn't exist. So what's on the paper, it's important from a point of view, but it's a potential. What it's actually paramount is how many pieces do you actually use. And hey, black is having 4 minor pieces versus 2 knights. 4 versus 2. And queen, of course. Why queen plays a defensive purpose? Absolutely defensive purpose. And those 2 knights try to stave off something. Yeah, there is the g5 prospect, Sadvik. I agree. As soon as black plays king g8, you can forget about the fork. Just go and live your life, do your best attack, and stuff like this. So I'm really thinking about Karthik idea, which is queen e1. I would love to trade that queen, and I would love to simplify and I would love to do something with this knight on D and get my bishop and get my rook, because I have a feeling of massive frustration not being able to use the bishop on C1 and the rook on A1. This is absolutely a pain. This is a pain not using those highlighted white pieces, my friends. So that's for Hikaru to solve. That's for Hikaru to deal with. B3, says another friend of ours. B3, I guess because he may want to propose bishop B2 or bishop A3. Bishop A3 is another pain. You're not going to do nothing. And bishop B2 is another little pain. You're going to hit your own guy, Ashu. I really doubt B3 is going to do any big transformation here. Tough. He tries to do it in this fashion. Knight G1. Why? He dreams that black's going to take, and then he's going to take with the king, I guess. I guess he wants to do it in this fashion. Obviously, you're not going to take here because black's going to take, and then again, you are just simply done. So Hikaru is not going to capture on H3. I guess this is just clear for everybody. Is black supposed to be taking? If you don't take, you got to move the knight. Well, you don't have to move the knight. You could just leave him there. Could you bring more power? Could you do something else? Could you play this? No, you can't play this because you're going to be dropping your guy. Could you play this? Well, I guess you can. Would you push this? Or would you move this? You need to do something here to increase the attack. If Ian allows Hikaru to get his guys out, to get the guys out of the prison, it's going to be more difficult to deal with an extra knight with an extra bishop and the rook coming into play. It's going to be way tougher for Ian here, I guess. Oh, Hikaru going to be so happy. Hikaru going to be so happy. Hikaru is going to be thrilling if he manages to get knight D2 to F3. Hikaru gonna be absolutely exultant. He's gonna have like a huge relief if he manages to do knight D2 F3. He's gonna be so happy. Totally. Very happy. Let's go to other guys, people. Very exciting game. I think this is very instructive, superb game here. And definitely we're gonna go back to this, guys. We are going to be returning, fellas. Let's see what? Fabian Prague, right? Okay, let's... Hey, we did say bishop b5. We did say that. I did say bishop h6 as well. That was the moment when we left the game, my friends. This was the moment when we left the game, and you can see the arrows actually indicate the stuff that these people played. Knight took on d2. Knight takes on d2. I did say that. Bishop h6. I did say that as well. Bishop b5, I absolutely did mention this. And knight c6, I said that one too. And now it is white's turn. And blimey, what else than rook to c? Although you get yourself in a bit of a pin, this guy is pin, you are placing yourself in a pin. Jesus Christ. Okay, this is fascinating. I don't know. Do you have time to do g3, f4? But before you acting so defensively, okay, he moved the knight. He keeps the pin. He keeps the pin. He moved knight f3. That is defending a little bit d4 because it's getting seriously complicated or something. No, you can't move the knight because I'm going to take with tempo. This is out of the question. This is out of the question. Yeah, black should castle. I think you should castle with black. Absolutely, I concur 100% here. Black should be castling. Yes. You castle and you take it from there. I think it's very important. I think very important. And still you need to move that queen away from the a4, d7 diagonal. You need to move the king and the queen afterwards. You need to connect the rooks. Just move the queen away and see if you can do something. Yeah, there is also this kind of stuff, but let's take it step by step. Probably black's going to castle and white's going to castle as soon after. Black castle short, white castle short. That we might be seeing this that idea as well, my chess friends. We might see that as well. Okay. That's the last coffee I'm drinking. That's enough. It's 9 p.m. I can't drink coffee all night long. Okay. Castle short, castle short. That might be very well happening. Yeah, nice one. Let's go Vidit. Someone said Vidit, yeah? Yeah, we're going to go to all the games, my friends. We're going to see all of them. And with your help, we're going to be identifying all the stuff they play. What? I didn't do nothing to the YouTube chat. I didn't do a single thing. I didn't do nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. Solve a problem. The chat done by YouTube video are coming to you about what that is. I don't know what that means. I didn't do any particular settings with the YouTube chat. I haven't got a clue what you're saying. But as far as I understand, the YouTube chat, I mean, anyone can watch the stream on 4 platforms. I didn't do nothing about that YouTube chat you're saying about. I have no idea. I don't know what you're saying, Karthik. If you could, if you care to explain further on, maybe I could understand or something. Okay, let me clean these glasses. So what's going on here? Vidit is black. Okay. He castled. Okay, a bit more clarity. Just a bit more clarity. Rook FB. Okay. I guess there, for white, for Basov, he'd like to take on A. And if you take with the rook, can I take your rook and then take your bishop? Can I trade a queen for a rook and a bishop? Or is just way too crazy? Chats are reaching me late. Oh, I see. There might be a delay. Thank you, Sadvik, but... Okay, I absolutely am sorry for this. I was not aware. I appreciate a lot you revealing this to me. But you know, after the stream, I don't think I can operate now too many modifications because just I'm going to have to stop the whole thing and looking into it. I don't know. But I am going to investigate the delay in the YouTube chat. So I'm going to have to look at that. I wasn't aware. Thank you very much for bringing this into my attention. I definitely am going to investigate it and to fix it. Yes. Thanks for bringing this up. Okay. So, guys, the question was, can I ask again, people, if I capture and you take with the rook, can I take your rook? And after you take my queen, I take your bishop. Can I do this? Or is it just completely reckless and crazy? I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I could take. You don't take with the pawn, right? Because the bishop is hanging. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. b4 takes a5. If rook takes, could I take your rook? Pawn takes, rook takes. Probably you could, but you gotta think really carefully. Now, on the positive side, Nijat Abbasov is boasting 1 hour 29 minutes. Vidit, I think Vidit will accept the challenge. If Abbasov takes with the pawn on a5, I guess Vidit will take with the rook because Vidit wants to say, I don't care if you want to take my rook and my bishop, take it. I'm not sure actually Abbasov should be going for this though. Would you personally play this? I would probably consider doing this if this was a bullet or something. Or a blitz. I think I would. If this was a bullet or a blitz, I would probably definitely consider. If this was a rapid or a classical, I'm not sure I would actually go for this. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't know what to say. Not just yet. Queen c4 is great, Karthik. It's one of those seemingly very peaceful. Well, there is no peaceful move in chess. What am I talking about? Yes, Queen c4 is a very good stuff to do for white. I like it. It's interesting. But you have to deal with bishop a6. then I don't know. You want to push the pawn? I don't know. Knight f to d2. Okay. Okay. Because knight c4. Because I want to take you here. So you can't take with the rook. You take... Aha. Okay. Okay. I got it. I got it now. It's knight c4. Karthik, not queen c4, which is great. You're going to make a little bit of a pin, but it's not going to last forever. After king plays on the dark squares, you're no longer going to have the pin. But I don't know what Vidit is going to play. But definitely Nijat Abbasov wants to go for knight c4 and then taking here. You can't take with the pawn, and you cannot take with the rook. So guys, I'm not sure that idea works with the rook traded for a... queen traded for a rook and a bishop. I think it's absolutely deadly losing. So you shouldn't be doing that. Unless you play a bullet and you want to do crazy stuff. But normally, no, I don't think you should do that. No. Knight c4 though. Knight c4 is good. It's definitely good. Especially in the light of b4 takes a5. That's just great. This is absolutely great. Brill. Okay, shall we go to... Oh, sugar. Shall we go to another? So that's Nijat Abbasov Vidit. Okay, we're gonna go back and do the cycle again, guys. We're gonna do the cycle. We're gonna go back to where we were, Alireza and Gukesh here. What did happen? Hey, fellas. Black pushed h6 exactly to stop Alireza from pushing his h6 pawn. That's one. a4, which I did say a4 will happen. Bishop takes, king takes, of course, forced. Castle short, king b to go away from any possible checks that might happen. And I don't know. What are you actually going to play? Knight e5, I think it's required to allow queen to protect this guy so you can play rook here. And if knight takes, you're going to take with the bishop, exerting some nice pressure. I guess this is Alireza's intention here. I think Gerardo would probably agree with me on this one. Again, knight e5 was an idea that Satvik or Karthik, I don't know which one of you guys said it. Knight e5 is a good idea. Multi-purpose move. Knight takes, bishop takes, pressure on g, rook g3, further pressurizing g7, queen defending this h5 from the knight. So I think this is the stuff we wanted to mention. g4. It is Blackstone, by the way, Asho. It is Blackstone to play. So king g1. Karthik said it. Yeah. I knew it was either Karthik or... Yeah. Karthik said it. Knight e5. I think this is required to play. But it's Blackstone. You can't play g5. This is crazy. You're going to lose very quickly. g5 is... If you want to lose here with black, you have to play g5. And due to the en passant, you're going to lose incredibly fast, which is something that will never happen at this level of chess. It's never going to happen. Ace a6. Really? a6. You want to play a6 for black? Why? Why would you waste so important of a tempo to do this? You may think about how to disable this dangerous bishop. Maybe you want to play bishop d6 or something. I'm not sure. Bishop d6 or something. You want to oppose this guy because it's just too dangerous? Although, bishop d6, can I take on h6? I mean, this is so tempting. So tempting. I don't know if it's correct in the ultimate analysis, but that's sure as hell. It's really so enticing to think about this kind of hits. Queen c6, why the... what is this doing, actually? What, you go for a pawn which... he's attacking a4, which is currently defended? I mean, do you want me to play knight e5? Queen c6, really? Queen c6. Okay, can I play knight e5 now? Because they gave you a very big reason to do this. Yes, Sadvik. Knight e5. I agree. Totally knight e5. Why the hell not? Knight e5, knight takes, bishop takes. Of course knight e5, knight e5, knight takes, bishop takes. And I think I'm very relatively happy with this. I'm not sure black's gonna take. I'm not sure black is going to take your knight though. But definitely you could play it. Definitely you could play it. Then maybe the other knight, d2 over to f3. Maybe. Then you take, then they take, then you play. I don't know. We are going to see. I don't know what's this queen c6 doing. b4. b4 drops the c3. Sadvik. I guess b4 drops c3, right? Unless you have a tactic and I didn't see it. Which is possible. Always possible. So not now b4. You gotta take care of the c3 and then you might go b4. I'm not sure. Knight e5. Knight e5. Oh, that's an interesting take there, Karthik. Knight e5, knight e5, pawn takes. You know, there's something weird and interesting about this move. It hits the knight. Knight's gotta go. But they could go h7. Okay, it's not the most ideal. I'm not sure about pawn takes after all. It's interesting, but I'm declining. I'm refusing my own bishop's diagonal. It's like I'm punishing myself. I get your point, Sadvik. I really do get your point. I don't know what to say about taking back with the pawn, though. Knight e5, I like it, but if black knight were to capture, I would take with a bishop, mate. I wouldn't take with a pawn. I would take with a bishop because I want to control the h2 b8 diagonal, and I want to hit on g7 forever. So no way I will take with the pawn. Now, let's go to another idea you guys suggested here. Rook c and then b4. Yeah, it's a backward pawn. I don't think the battle... So, Sadvik, I don't think the focus should be on the c file or b file. Pardon me, but I think the concentration, your main focus should be on the king side now, Karthik. You need to find resources to attack on the king side. You don't need to push the b pawn now, or to waste very precious tempo to move rook to c in order to play b. It takes you forever. I don't think that's the main focus. Your job is to figure out something on the king side, not on the queen side. It's completely time wasting, in my understanding. I could be wrong again. Queen c2 is something. It's probably okay. It's probably okay. Queen c2, maybe. Yeah, it's something to this. Yeah, okay. I still go for knight e5. Yeah, knight e5. Rook c1. Black rook c. Yeah, I don't know. If you want to do rook c1 just to push c, but just... No, I want to focus on the king side. I don't know. I want to focus on the king side. Now, knight e5 screams to be played. Knight e5. Yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. We'll see if we are correct or not. We'll see about this. Okay. What did we see? That was Alireza, Gukesh, Hikaru, and Naka. What's Hikaru and Ian? Yeah, what's going on? That was one exciting little game here. Hey, King G8 too. Okay, so of course he didn't want to simplify the game. He didn't take any knight on G1. He played King to G8 to making sure there is no G5 fork ever again. And Nakamura to play. And Hikaru is boasting 1 hour, 90 minutes. Good evening, Interstellar. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you very much for your presence and for your kind thoughts. Yeah, great due and the diligence for our friends here who producing a lot of good ideas as well. So that's awesome, guys. You guys are the best. So Okay, king g8 now, and Hikaru has to figure out what to do. The bishop and with the rook, and in order for you to even dream about the bishop and rook, you have to do something with the knight on d2. So this guy is the portal. This guy is the key to freedom for white. Yes, good night, Ashu. Thanks for visiting. See you next time, my friend. Good to have met you. So the ticket for freedom for Hikaru is playing the knight on d2. You have to play the knight. You don't play the knight, you're gonna stay blocked forever. You can't play against Ian with the pieces like this. You can't have knight on the back rank hoping. Yeah, queen e. Someone said queen e2. I don't know if it was Satvik or queen e2. He's desperate for trading. He is absolutely desperate for trading. So yeah, of course, he would be relieved if black takes, which I think he will deny. He's not gonna take. He's gonna play queen c8 or queen d7. Okay, he doesn't want to trade. Particularly, he don't want to trade. Can we play knight f3 though? Although you may get yourself in a pin. But hey, you get the bishop finally. I don't know. We are going to see. I don't know. I really don't. What do you play? Knight f3? You don't want to take. It's a disaster. I mean, you're going to be so hard hit. So what do you play here? How do you get the bishop on c1 to do something after all? You either play knight f3 or you take. If we can eliminate knight takes e4 because it's looking so horribly bad, I think you just play knight f3 and you assume you're going to get pinned. But then you're going to play this bishop somewhere, which I'm not sure where exactly you're going to get it. I'm not sure where you're going to get it. Bishop d2. No, you can't. You're in a pin here. Well, if the guy takes, you could take back with the queen, don't you? And then you free up the rook. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, knight f3 is probably the stuff you got to play. If it's not knight f3, what do you play? You're going to sit down and wait something to happen? So guys, whatever will happen in this game is that white will struggle to get the bishop and the rook into the game. How is he going to do this? That's actually the biggest question in this game's history. This is actually the only inquiry here. What do you do with the knight on d2 so that you can free up your bishop and your rook? If you manage to get those pieces in action, you're going to do good. You're going to do really good stuff. That is absolutely magnificent. Hello, Haspit. Good to having you, brother. Yeah. Karthik, knight h3. Yeah, I think this is quite interesting. Knight takes. Obviously, bishop takes. And then you're going to be playing king g1. King g1. That makes sense. You want to simplify. You want to get your guys... Yeah, I think that makes sense. Or do you do knight f? No, but it's the same. It's a pain. Come on. Okay, knight h3. Bishop checks. You're going to get g. Do you like this? Or you're going to play knight f3. Knight d2 to f3. Nakamura is having 1 hour 27 minutes. Okay, he's going to find the best way to play here. Well, I'm not sure. Knight f3 or knight takes h3. I'm not sure. Psychologically, I would not be available to play knight g1 f3. It's just too much for me to handle as a human. I can't get knight g to f and just wait. I can't play this. It's either knight f3 if I was white, or probably I would explore taking the knight on h3, one of these two. Knight f1? No, that's a nice one. That is a really nice one. Knight f1 for knight e3. Those backward crazy moves. Yes. Knight f1, freeing up sort of the bishop, even if provisionally, even if temporary, because knight e3. Now, that's starting to looking interesting. I think so. Yes. Yes, Sadvik, I think you probably found something that could be a potential resource here. Yes, knight f1. Yep. Knight f1, probably knight d2. Okay, it's something to this. Yes, I guess so. I guess so. Yes. I like it. Knight f1, I like it. Yeah, I do like it. That's cool. That's good. That is good. That is promising. So, Karthik, I guess Hikaru should be finding a way, and if he gets those pieces out, he gonna win. Yeah, I agree with you here. I agree. Probably he should be winning. He should. 2 2, okay, 2 4 6 3 2 5. Yeah, he got one extra pawn. Okay, he got a rook. Okay, maybe. I don't think it's that easy. I don't think it's that easy. Given the fact Yan is just like 40 minutes and Hikaru is like 1 hour 25, that might be playing in Hikaru's advantage as well. So we might be having something here. Yeah, I agree. Let's go and watch the other guys playing. What a great evening for chess students and teachers alike, and whatever we take ourselves to be. What did happen here? It was a crazy position. I did say castle. There you go. It's right there. We did highlight with the yellow arrows here. Castles and castles. I absolutely did say that. Short castle, both of them. Queen moved away, so away from the pin. There's no more pin. Bishop attacks a6. Absolutely gorgeous. You're hitting this guy. Taking the c8 from any potential doubling of the rook out of the business now. Forget about it. Rook moves c7. The bishop stays is an absolutely miracle. This bishop here, it's fabulous. This bishop is so nice and sweet. Now, it could be some knight to b8 to try and get rid of that guy. It could be. It could be. To which probably white's going to play bishop d3 to stopping any, if they want to play dirty. You gotta stop them. And bishop d3 would be cool. Really cool. So let's take it step by step. This is Prague's turn. Knight b8. I would really love to get rid of that guy. And Prague also has some very strong guy here. This is a very strong bishop. So this guy is incredibly frustrating for black, taking the c8 capital square for launching the rooks. And the bishop on h6 also is a major headache for white because it takes the c1 incredibly important square. So those bishops are frustrating each other. The black knight, though, does hit something, namely the d4 pawn. And the knight on f3 doesn't attack any black pawn. It only serves as a defensive piece. So you only look after the d4. If black wants to get rid of your bishop on a6, they have to drop the knight on b8. Dropping the knight on b8 means you're going to have to play the bishop, and your knight is sort of free to do whatever they want to do. For a short period, though. For a short period. Until the knight comes back. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. We'll find out. They're going to be very exciting. They're going to be very... I love it. I love this game as well. Hell, I love them all. It's just fabulous chess from these guys. I really much enjoy the... I really much enjoyed the Hikaru and the Ian Nepomniachtchi game. This one is also fabulous. Fabian Prague, absolutely amazing, beautiful, absolutely beautiful game, and very much so the Nijat Abbasov Vidit as well, and the other one Ali Reza. I think we got the most beautiful games until now. I think this evening is the evening with the most beautiful games since the FIDE candidates had started. I think it's the most beautiful, the most engaging games. All of them, all 4 games are splendid. All 4 of them. Nice, very nice. H3. Why the heck h3 though? What was it with h3? Let me go back in time a bit. So that was the last time when we visited this game. h5, knight f3 to stopping h4. I understand that, but I thought he wanted to play knight c4 for taking here. Okay, he just readjusted. Queen to e6. Queen to e6, eh? Ah! He wanted to stop queen to g4. And then this and this. Ooh, that is so cool. Okay. Now we get to understand it, guys. h3 is because you really need to stop the queen to g4. Imagine, just imagine the black queen was on g4. Just imagine. I mean, this is something. You can't just minimize it. So h3 is a necessary stuff to play, or you gotta get really, really, really toast. So h3 is stopping queen g4. Very important. Very important. Now, if you stop the queen, I guess you can dream of playing knight h4 or knight g6. And if they push, hell, I'm absolutely relishing. It's just magnificent. Which is not going to happen. Vidit's not going to play g5. But this knight's going to play here. And maybe black king's going to play h7. Because I think it's out of the question to playing g5. It's completely out of the question. So if king h7 and knight h4... sorry, who's that? Okay, so Vidit can play preemptively, if I may say that. Okay, for this very reason, he played king to g7 to making Abbasov give up on the plan with knight h4. Yeah, and let white move whatever the heck they want to do. Yes. And amongst others could be... rook to... I don't think so. Would you? No, you can't do it now because you're going to drop the guys here. Takes, takes, takes. Right? So no. It's not going to be any rook h8. Maybe Vidit had planned to push this guy first and then rook over to do this. I mean, maybe. Why not? Why not? So closing a little bit the tension here. I mean, you don't want to lose that pawn, right? So you're going to play a4. White's going to move something, but I don't know what. Maybe rook f1. And then black's going to play rook h8 for this. I mean, you want to do this, right? And then you can build up the idea with g5 and things. So that might be something. That might be something. So, okay. You also may want to vacate the c5 from the knight. How exactly are you going to get your guy on c5? That's another point. I think it's quite important, that one as well. And all in all, an absolute splendor of games this evening. If not exactly as I said, I think these are the most beautiful games in all the FIDE candidates 2024. It's not finished, which is amazing. So we can repeat this experience. But it's just absolutely amazing. I'm really sorry Magnus no longer wants to play the classical chess, because from my point of view, the chess that these guys are producing is just amazing. And I am really regretful he no longer wants to do this and, you know, provide us with his enormous chess creativity. Anyway, we're going to be enjoying this, guys, nevertheless. b5, you're saying, Karthik? b5, you're saying? For whom? White or black? King g7, b5 for white, I reckon you want to play. I guess you can. Really? I don't think you want to... No, you want to take here eventually. Or here. I don't think you want to push b5 with white, I guess. You're kind of like helping black to deciding getting rook over to h-file, Karthik, if I'm correct. So if you push b5, Vidit's going to say, well, thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. I really wanted to move the rook, but I couldn't because you kept me in tension. But now because you push b5, I can say thank you. I really wanted to do this, you know. So I'm not sure b5 works for white here. Vidit is, I don't know, Vidit wants to really move into time issue again. I don't know, this lad has to do something with the time management. I'm not sure what. Yeah. I don't know, Karthik. I wouldn't push b5. I wouldn't push b5. I'm really skeptical to do b5. I don't see any virtue in it. I don't think I'm losing or anything, but I really don't see any benefit into doing b5. Sorry, I don't see it. I might be wrong, of course. Let's go and see some other guys, because that's what we are doing here. So we've seen Vidit. Let's go back to Alireza and Gukesh, another formidable. Hey, someone said e5. You guys are just you guys are just too good, man. How the heck you take here with a pawn? I don't know, but someone said pawn takes, eh? I would have taken with the bishop. Sorry, that's my human understanding. But I'm a human. I'm not a machine like Alireza or something. So I don't know what's this here, but I would have taken with the bishop. I'm sorry to being a disappointment yet again. I'm sorry to being a disappointment again, as per always, but I would have taken with the bishop all day here. In 100 cases, you're giving me this. I'll take with the bishop all day. I'm sorry, I'm just so limited. Look, there is virtue to this. There is some quality to this stuff. Okay, I can appreciate that you just sending this guy in disarray. I get it. Okay, I understand. Maybe that's for the better. Yeah, it forces the knight to move. That is true. Can they play knight h7 though? So you're going to take the knight. You're going to be attacking the black knight. Black knight goes on h7. Okay, that's cool. Okay, nice. Okay, nice. Okay. And then queen g4 or rook g3. Okay. I understand. And Gukesh didn't budge. He didn't move a damn thing because he's exactly considering the ideas we have said, guys. If you do knight h7, it's queen g4 happening. It's written all over. Yeah, I guess bishop takes e5 is one of those engine moves that you could do. It is always good to get the bishop on g5, enjoying all the diagonals in the whole bloody universe. Okay, I get this. This one, it might be a major subtlety here, which you've noticed, Karthik. You've noticed very many things, which is very good. You should be starting over the board as soon as possible. So, this one is a very cool idea. Knight has to move, and then you go with queen g4, rook g3. Yeah, the idea of queen g is just to take on h6. Yes. Or maybe you could take even before you play queen g4. So if this guy goes here, you're gonna grab this pawn. And if they take, they're being completely destroyed because of the rook g3, queen g4 ideas. Or you're gonna play queen g4 first. I don't know. Rook h3, bishop takes h6. What, Sadvik? What? Not knight h7. And what do you play? You're gonna take here. Do they have to take? Kind of, they have to. And if they take, you're going to check. I guess, or rook. Wait. It's something is brewing about h6 and queen g4, rook g3. I guess Alireza is going to pull a victory here. I think Gerardo was the one that said that Alireza got this, because it looks to me, indeed, especially now after this very funky move, e5, which I think it's very meaningful. It makes a lot of sense. Looks to me that there is a massive problem in holding the position with the looming sacrifice on h6 and queen g4, rook g3. I don't know in which order, but I guess it's very frightening. The c file is closed. We couldn't care less for the time being, but rook and queen indeed are killing. Knight d7, because you have to move the knight somewhere. And now you guys tell me, do you take on h6 now or you do a little bit of preparation? You tell me, what do you play? Rook g3, queen g4, bishop takes h6. Bishop takes h6 or queen g4 or rook g3. Which one's going to be in what order exactly? You guys feel free to type in your prediction. Of course, using exclusively our own minds, yeah? Exclusively. No engine allowed. Bishop takes, g takes, queen check, king gonna move h8. Now, I think you gotta do a little bit of preparation here. You need some queen on the g or something. Yeah. So what stops you then, Karthik, eh? What does stop you to boost your rating, eh? Nothing stops you, yeah? You're being very insightful, so I guess half the job is done. So queen g4, rook g3, I guess. And as Gerardo said, I guess the pressure is enormous. Yeah. Okay, just tell me what's your username on chess.com, and in the next month I'll be adding your username too. Guys, if you have some username on chess.com, Gerardo, if you're there. Karthik is here. Okay, Karthik, what's your username, man? Oh, I need to write this down. Pardon me. Yeah, well, you do have a chess.com account, don't you? If you don't have, that's weird. You gotta have a chess.com account. Okay, if you're not sure, I'm not sure either. That's all right. That's okay. Queen g4, rook g3, bishop h6, one of these two, yeah. Okay, so these are my candidate moves. Okay, I guess this is Sathik. Sathik, that's your username on chess.com? Okay. I don't insist or anything. I mean, if you want to, that's fine by me, because they're going to be giving you the memberships, not myself. I'm not paying for them. Right. How old is your account on chess.com, Karthik? Is it like 1 week ago? Right. So queen g4, rook g3, bishop. Okay, so that springs to mind. It could be. It could be. Yeah. Yeah. Queen g4. Okay, we're going to see about this one. Let's go for the next one. Hikaru Ian. Let's visit this one. Yeah. Queen e2, knight e4, and Hikaru didn't move nothing. I think last time we were here, Hikaru had like 1 hour, he had like, all in all, like 90 minutes. He had like 90 minutes available. And he didn't move nothing. He didn't move absolutely nothing. It's just the yellow arrows that we did last time we've seen the game, but nothing had happened. Hikaru didn't move a single piece. Gerardo, you still there? Or who was the other guy? So we've got Sadvik, we got Karthik, Sadvik. Is there Interstellar? Interstellar, have you got a username on chess.com? If you're still there. Interstellar, if he's there. Or Gerardo, for that matter. Or Gerardo. Okay. Nothing moved Hikaru here. What is he going to play? How do you free up your pieces? Namely, the bishop on c1 and the rook on a1. How are you gonna do that? Well, I guess we're gonna see. So something interesting happened here. So that was the last time we visited. Rook to D. Protecting the d4 in case you want to move the knight or something. Knight to b8, which we did say knight to b8. We did say knight to b8. That forces the bishop to move away. Bishop to d3, which we did say is going to happen. We said both of these moves. a5, challenging the a3 and b4, and now black is attacking b4 twice. And now Fabi is considering the next move to play. Okay, how long have we been streaming, my chess friends? We've been doing it for almost 2 hours. Okay, I think we'll try giving it like 10, 15 minutes and we'll take it from there. That's going to be lost. That's going to go probably for, you know, at least for 90 more minutes. So that's going to take some time because it's classical. Now you can debate onto this one now and think about what to play here. I notice how strong this bishop is. I notice that black cannot be stopped now. Prague can't be stopped about doubling the rooks. So this is something. I think black's doing a little bit better. I think black's doing a bit better here. I don't know about b5. Maybe just if you want to stop the knight. At the same time, you're denying your bishop's diagonal. I guess you can. I guess you can. I understand. Makes sense. You move the pawn away from being captured and stuff. At the same time, when you play b5, you do take from the black knight those a6 and c6 squares, I agree. And at the same time, you're no longer moving your bishop. Well, you can't have them all. I guess you have to do something. So, yeah, b5 is playable. b5 is playable. But I prefer blacks here than whites. I don't know why. I think black looks a bit more optimistic with this bishop on h6 and the rooks on the c file. Interstellar, have you got a username on chess.com? I would try to fill out another form for those admins. Maybe they're going to be issuing some membership for my chess friends here, guys. If you got a username. Okay. Let me try this one. Very, very interesting username have you chosen here. You want to convince them otherwise. But boy, you want to convince them of one thing or another. Very, very cool one. Okay, so he took actually. He didn't want to push. So again, who was that? Sadvik. When you push b5, it's like you're denying your bishop actually. So probably this one was more preferable. And now he goes for the a5. He goes for the a5. Okay, and he might even consider playing actually rook on the b. Just claim the b file. So he claims the b file. He's going to claim the b file. He's going to go for the a pawn. And I guess if you go down, he's probably going to be playing bishop b5. So it's starting to looking, you know, very nice and elegant here for Fabi. He's going to take advantage of the b file now. Because that's what you got. At least you claim the b file. C going to be taken by Prague, as long as he keeps the knight on b8, because if you don't keep the knight on c or on b8, you're probably going to be running into this. a4, bishop b. Yeah, that is if black doesn't push, but probably he won't. So if you got time, you may want to do this. Yeah, I think you may want to do this. Sounds like a plan. a4, bishop b5. It's quite a nice structure here. Quite a nice structure. a3, a4, bishop b5. Yeah, that could be something. That could be very well something here. Yeah. I made a poll on the social media in which I was asking people if they would like to follow a broadcast in which the commentators were making use of the engine and eval bar or not. And I actually always said that they shouldn't be using it, especially if they are strong grandmasters. They should not touch the engine at all. And I said that that's the best way for any chess student to be learning and improving. Having served all the time the engine, first, you don't do nothing. You don't make any piece of effort. You're not seeing nothing because the engine always feeds you with the moves that are the best. So you're not making a bit of an effort. You're not going to improve anything. You're not going to do nothing. So for this reason, for learning purposes, I think not using the AI when games are happening is incredibly important. And yeah, that's my personal view. And that goes the same for the presenter, the commentators, and all the viewers. Now, if you are at work and if you don't bother and if you want to, just having very easy, yes, of course, you could keep the AI on and they're going to be telling you all the time what to play. But I guess it's not going to be a great learning experience. Yeah, it's not going to help anybody. Now, after the game had happened, and if you want to analyze stuff, of course, you could make use of the engine. But during the live games, I don't think it's a great stuff. It's not going to improve anything to anyone. So yeah, I am against the engine while you watching the live games of the Grandmasters. And I'm totally for learning after the game had happened. When you analyze complicated lines, difficult sequences, then I think yes, you should be studying with the engine. But yes, yeah, it's like you encourage the laziness. People don't want to make an effort. They want results. They don't want to make an effort. They don't learn nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's how I see the use of the engine. It's not going to help anyone if they try to improve. And when you go over the boards, you won't be able to use the engine. And if you use it on the platform, sooner or later they will be banning you. So, yeah. Hello there, Juan. Thanks for visiting our stream here. How's it going, mate? Yeah, I haven't heard of your company. I hope you guys doing well. I hope you're happy with your company, Juan. I don't know about your company, nothing. Right, so knight c6 here. Aha. I think, amongst others, if you plan, who was that? Sadvik. If you plan to do some a4, bishop b5, black will be claiming the b4. That's exactly what's going to happen. So if you take my white squares with a4, bishop b5, I am going to play knight b4. And I'm going to covering all those squares. So that's the setback, Satvik. This is the consequence of a4, bishop b5. You can't have them all. So that's exactly what going to be. And I'm not sure how enticing it is for you to play now a4. Maybe you want to play bishop b5 first? I mean, let's just keep it simple. Maybe you want to play bishop b5, bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes, a5. You want to play it in this fashion? I think it's worth a shot. Just keep the situation as it is. Play bishop b5. See what black reacts to this. See what's black's response. Maybe, maybe you'll be able to do this. So bishop b5, taking the knight off the board, and maybe you're going to win a pawn. Maybe you're going to win a pawn. Because I think Prague would be absolutely incredibly happy if you allow him to play knight b4 with a4 stuff. I'm not even sure it's that great for white to do this anymore. So probably you may want to consider bishop b5 first. Heck, I don't know. We could debate this. Maybe rook b for a starter. Maybe rook ab. Maybe bishop b5. So candidate moves. Maybe this, maybe that. a4 no more attractive now. It's no more attractive. I don't like a4 now. And actually rook b doesn't even work because this guy's just dropping all of a sudden. So just bishop b5. Just bishop b5. And the game continues. The game is far from over. The game has just started. Can I say that? The game had just started. There's a lot of stuff to happen here. A lot of stuff to happen. Tons of things. Okay, what about this guys? Vidit and Nijat Basov here. Okay, so he moved the king again. I did say knight h4 a few times, and it did came to happen. And now king goes away because there is always this potential here, especially if this guy took... guys, have a look at this one here. White had played knight to h4. The idea being if white takes your h4 guy, checks. If you take back, you're going to run into knight f5, and actually your queen is gone. So this is incredibly cool. Very nice. And we did say that. I think I did say that amongst others. He maintained the tension on the b. Hello, Kadir. So knight h4. And the idea would be knight takes. And if pawn takes, then we're going to have knight f5 and goodbye black queen. Therefore, Vidit had to play king h7. And now probably it's not working. It's definitely not working. And you've got no bishops, and you've got just 2 knights. You try to maximize whatever you've got available. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. There is a lot of tension here. Queen tries to readjust itself. Do they want to play queen e, and then knight takes, pawn takes, queen plays and stuff? I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, guys, I think I've deciphered queen e1, because queen e1 wants to play queen e2 in order to play a knight sacrifice on h5. Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes, and I think it's good. It's good. You didn't do nothing with the queen on c3, so probably, I mean, you did something with the queen on c3, but the prospect of queen e2 probably is more valuable now. Yeah, you may want to go to sleep, mate, if it's that late. You may want to go to sleep. Don't put your courses or your school in jeopardy because of the chess stream. So, you know, you can revisit the recording. So, yeah, I don't want you to stay up all night long and then feeling awful tomorrow. So don't neglect your health and your school, never, for any stream whatsoever. Always look after your health. You got one physical body and this human experience, so you better look after that physical body of yours. Sleep is important, unfortunately. I don't know. If I could, I'd never sleep, but you have to. So, yeah, we can't compromise on this, I'm afraid. So, yeah, that's how I see it. Queen e2 and stuff like this. And, yeah, and still maintaining pressure here. Do you know what interesting? If black plays a rook, they're going to be dropping on a5 because b takes, and if b takes, then queen takes. Thank you very much. So then white's going to win. So queen e2, queen e1 is a cool move. It may be announcing queen e2, but also keeps an eye on this one. Therefore, the rook on a8 can't really move away from the a file. You know. Oh, okay. Cool stuff then. So, yeah. So from this point of view, I think it's cool. Okay. Okie dokie. So, fellas, unfortunately, I have to wrap it up now. Been 2 hours of continuous streaming, and I already had a day of work today, so I have to wrap it up now. And I'll leave you guys to continue watching this stuff, and we'll be seeing you guys, I reckon. Tomorrow they don't play chess, but I might be just tuning in to do some puzzles together, guys. So I'll see you tomorrow for a couple of puzzles, a couple of maybe reviewing of the games that are happening right now. And thank you very much again, guys, for stopping by. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it so. And hopefully I'm gonna see you guys soon enough. You're welcome, guys. Thanks all. And I'm sure the games will be phenomenal. And we can eventually discuss about their content. Tomorrow we're gonna discuss of the stuff that they played. Awesome, guys. Thank you again. And see you soon, fellas. Take care of yourselves.